Yeah, so hi everyone. Welcome to Multimodal Weekly, both new attendees as well as frequent attendees. Welcome back. This series is a virtual webinar hosted by the team at Twelve Labs. We've been meeting every single Friday over the past 1 year or so. This is I think session number 46, if I'm correct. And here's some of the topics that we tend to cover on a weekly basis. Research in multimodal AI and foundation models, innovative application of multimodal in different verticals, projects around video AI and multimodal understanding from our community members, and internal talks from our team members sharing tutorials and guides on using the Twelve Labs platform and API. In terms of the recent session, we had a good amount of speakers coming from very diverse personas, right? From researchers working in video Asian and visual augmented generation to LLM evaluation and model for audio creation. We also have industry practitioner from startup, folks working in enterprise data, a partner to actual customer who using our tools. For example, one company, Surgical AI, came up in one of the recent week. And as a team of that, we've been inviting more and more of our partners, people who work with Twelve Labs, to bring the technology to our platform. So for today's session, we have Anoop Thomas, who's the Director of Technology at eMAM, which is a very big media asset management platform, work with a variety of customers in the broader broadcasting, television, video technology industry. And we've been partnering with eMAM, over the past few months since meeting them at NAB last year. So the title of his talk will be Enhancing Video Production and Media Search Using Multimodal AI with eMAM and Twelve Labs. And for this talk, Anoop will basically give a high-level overview about eMAM, the company, some of the product that it offers, and as well as showing the integration with Twelve Labs and how can drive more insights from capabilities that eMAM already possessed. So yeah, I'm super excited to hear his perspective as one of our real partners and customers in the space. Quick just a note here. Feel free to send your question on Zoom chat, and we have a formal Q&A session after the speaker finish. So with that, I stop sharing my screen, and Anoop, you want to go ahead and start with your presentation?
Okay, sure. Yeah, do you mind I stop the video to share my screen so I can save some bandwidth, or?
Yeah, no worries.
Give me 1 second. Yeah, thanks, James. Thank you for inviting eMAM to participate in this webinar series. I also want to extend my thanks to the Twelve Labs team, especially Anthony, Soyoung, and Travis, for their support during the integration and their continued assistance. Hello, everyone. I'm Anoop Thomas, Director of Technology at eMAM Inc. As James mentioned, we offer media asset management and production asset management platform. The name of the product is eMAM. So from a workflow standpoint of view, we pretty much handle the end-to-end workflow of a media, all the way from acquisition, organizing it, help create new media, then multiple users can collaborate within our platform, then sharing distribution, and also all the way to the archival workflow. I'll quickly touch upon the various workflow. The acquisition workflow, we have a solution to bring the media from various sources. So that includes SDA feed, HDSDA feed, camera source, file upload, IP stream like RTMP, RTSP, SDA, SRT, NDA, and so on. And also, we have applications to bring the media into the system. And then some environment like broadcasting and connected systems, there are integrations at the API level and XML API level to bring the media automatically to the system. And also we have the option to do a cloud upload, we can sync the S3 bucket, Azure Blob, Google Cloud Object Storage, and various type of sources. And once the media in the system, we provide the tools to manage that media in the system. That includes organizing the media into the categories. It is not a typical file system. I have to say the categories are kind of a web-based file system with permissions, and also we can do the project management. Project management in the sense the non-linear editing project management with the check-in, check-out, and so on and so on. Yeah, that also connected, the project management workflow is also connected with our create workflow. So that is where the creatives, they have their own respective tools like Adobe Premiere, Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, After Effects, DaVinci Resolve, Avid Media Composer, and so on. As of now, we have a built-in extension panel inside these tools like Adobe tools and DaVinci Resolve. So the editor, producer, they don't want to leave the tool. They can search the eMAM library inside their respective tool and bring the media in and so on. And again, all these places, the search and finding the media is so important. The importance of 12 Labs integration, I will showcase later. Then there are collaboration workflows like review and approval. Like when you create a media, maybe you'll be creating a media for a client, or maybe it has to go to play out, or it has to go to social media platforms or OTT platforms and so on. And during that process, there may be multiple review and approval process. We have tools to connect multiple users like corporate communication, marketing, editors, producers, librarians, and so on and so on. Then another type of workflow is the deliver and share. Like once the media is produced, it has to go to, I already mentioned about various platforms. Sometimes it has to go to the broadcasting, like a playout environment. Sometimes it has to go to the video on demand platforms, social media. And in those cases, we also do package and delivery. Like if you have managing like movies and so on, we keep the video tracks, the audio tracks, censored copy, non-censored copy, and everything as separate files. Then as needed, we can combine it together. Like, okay, take the video and then combine that with the English audio track and Spanish subtitle. Or English, Spanish audio with French subtitle. So we can do that on the fly and then generate the new medium and deliver that to the destination. And then the next workflow is the archive, and there we manage the media inside the robotic L2 libraries. And again, most of our enterprise customers, we are managing petabyte scale media, because these media coming out of these cameras, it is kind of really big, like bitrate and so on, maybe 300 megabit per second and so on. So sometimes the media can be hundreds of GBs even for a 1 hour media. So for that, we integrate with robotic L2 libraries as a on-prem archive option. And some of the customers are moving away from this type of on-prem library option and then moving to the cloud, like object storage like Glacier or Blob Archive. And like there also we have integrations with the various vendors to power the archive. And this is another huge use case. Some of this archive, it is not properly tagged, and searching and finding the right media, especially for the news workflows and everything, is very difficult. And there also we identified a value partnering with the 12 Labs and build the solution so we can create intelligent archive without any human tagging. We are a group of companies, but I'm going to talk about the eMAM that is started in 2006. And the Video Perfect and Empress Digital, it's all that companies were dealing with the analog videos. Like we started from the analog video time, and then there was a shift on moving from analog to digital workflow. And that time we used to call that analog tape to tapeless workflow. But then again, the tape came back as a form of LTO tapes and so on. because of the digital files are growing, and then the storing that in the disk storage may not be feasible. So then we kind of started integrating with LTO archives. And so Empress Infotech is our software development wing, and also we have a few other companies. eMAM started in 2006. I joined the company back in 2008. It's been 16 years. Within my time itself, I have seen different type of workflows, technologies changing, the video formats changing, the workflows are changing, storage types are changing. There is distributions are changing from like point-to-point distribution to CDN-based distribution. So yeah, over the time of that 16 years, I have seen various workflows. And also the media asset management is a long-term commitment. The powering the archive and managing the media is kind of a long-term commitment with the customer. And that is where we value our technology partners. And every type of workflows, we don't try to do everything by ourselves. So we try to integrate with the industry-leading technology partners to power various workflows. The acquisition is trying to bring the media into the system. So we work with the different vendors there. The storage side, we work with the different vendors from object storage, robotic LTO libraries, optical disk archives, and so on. And again, there are more storage vendors. eMAM is compatible, but these logos, we work with these vendors. We execute technology partnership agreements, and we ensure the compatibility. And if there is any type of API level changes or kind of anything like a new version, we will ensure the APIs are compatible. So that is the reason we included this technology partners list here, because these are the companies we work very closely with. And even with the cloud infrastructure, we work with various partners. Then the artificial intelligence and search, back in the days, we started with Microsoft. When Video Indexer was a garage project, because they call it as a garage project before it goes to the production. I was involved in the Video Indexer project when it was a garage project, and then that was maybe 6-7 years ago. And then all the way fast forwarding to today, the recent integration is with the 12 Labs, the Pegasus and Marengo indexes. But again, the workflows are totally different with the different AI vendors. And I also have a Excel sheet on the feature comparison and what are the offerings from different vendors and how it can fit different type of workflows, whether that's a search and find, object detection, or the transcript extraction, or translating the transcript, or even the search what we are doing with the 12 Labs. Then editing, broadcast, newsroom. These are the newsroom computing systems like ENBS, Octopus, SNews, Tools on Air. That we have something called Morse Gateway, and to link all these systems together. And there also is a strong use case for searching and finding the media from the archive. Sometimes this media can be like 100 GB, 500 GB single file. I don't want to restore the entire clip. I just wanted to search for a specific event, and where is that event? And then we call it as a partial file restore. We just restore only the bytes required from that video, and then we rewrap with the proper file headers and codecs. And so those type of restore workflows are searching the clips, finding the clips, restoring the clips, and all is very critical for this type of broadcast newsroom operations. And also to reduce the egress charges from the cloud instead of restoring the full clip. And also we are integrated with the streaming OTT platforms. Then file transfer, acceleration, the archive, we work with different vendors. And also the enterprise level customers, we work with the iPaaS integration platform as service like Boomi. And recently we are also doing some work with Apache Airflow to combine and integrate different workflows and systems together. And then we also have different software bundles. But most of the enterprise level customers, they wanted to manage the media in their own infrastructure, because sometimes it's not feasible to push this high resolution media to the cloud immediately because of the bandwidth and the last mile bandwidth available. Most of the time, the media will be sneaker netting into the the MAM system, and then a proxy copy or a stream can go to the cloud to start the workflows. And with that said, we have enterprise software package, workgroup, publish, and Vault. Those all packages can go to the on-prem environment. Then we have a cloud service, which is purely a software or service model. And again, 12 Labs is a service model. The high-level architecture, the backend database, and then we have, it's an NTR architecture. And as you can see at the right bottom corner, we have a connector built for 12 Labs for indexing the video, issuing the search, and so on. And then we have a service tier. Then we have a different type of user interfaces, purpose-built user interfaces, web-based and native apps for iPad, Android, the different upload tools, and also the user interface and extension panels inside the Adobe Creative Cloud tools. And also we can power different types of workflows. This is kind of a typical on-prem deployment, like a starting deployment, but this can grow with the enterprise deployment with the multiple servers. It depends on the volume of the video coming in, the type of disaster recovery, failover requirements, but this is a simple type of requirement. As we have a services-oriented architecture, we should be able to connect this environment with the 12 Labs. But the challenge is doing that federated search because the vector embeddings are hosted outside. So this may not be a right suit for the everything on-prem may not be a right suit for the 12 Lab solution. But there are completely full cloud deployment are there. Everything is deployed in the cloud. And also, this is the most popular deployment what we have, the on-prem and the cloud. So the part of the workflow revolve around on-prem, where there is a high-speed storage with the like multi-gig fiber connections to the editor's workstation. So that workflow happens on-prem, and also there can be remote production workflows. The people working from home and all can get connected with the cloud workflows with the proxy video. And then these are the different type of deployment options. So like this is kind of an enterprise deployment in AWS cloud where we combine server-based and serverless architecture together. And this is Azure, Google Cloud, and also high-level flow of the data.
Yeah, Anoop, just before moving to the challenges, there's one question on the chat. We'd love to have you answer. So Aditya asked, what are some of the top tools and methodology you're using for media summarization and clip classification skill?
So the question is about the AI integration. What are the
what are some of the tools that you're using for media summarization and clip classification? What are some of the top choice for that specific tasks?
We work with the different technology partners and solutions specific to 12 Labs. We use that the Pegasus model for the summarization, and DeepGram also we have some summarization option and everything, but that's a different type of solutions there. Again, we use a different type of products to power these type of workflows.
Yeah. And for classification, do you have anything for like classify videos into like certain categories?
We have not came across that type of workflows yet on the classification side, because that is very common in the call center market and so on, classifying the video. But our workflows are more kind of workflow driven. But again, if any type of requirement comes in, of course we can just go with the Marengo, or I think that offers classification options, right? So we can build things around it, but we don't have a use case today for classifying the video. But there are few things like sentiment analysis, like whether it's positive or negative sentiments and so on. That most of the AI vendors support that, including video indexer and so on and so on. Yeah.
Awesome.
So hopefully I'm answering the question in the right way, but
yeah. I think that makes sense.
Okay.
There's a follow-up question from him. So let me read it out. Different output formats need different scripts. For example, a 2-minute social media video may be very different from a 2-minute news segment. Have you seen people optimize for different scripts with the same footage flows?
that is all based on customers, right? So, and every customer, they have their own requirements of handling that workflow of producing the video.
Yeah.
For example, within Adobe Premiere, there is a lot of tools available. Even you can do text edits, like you can edit the script, and then it will automatically edit the video for you. And when it comes to those type of workflows, our integration with Adobe is powering that type of workflows. Like I think their AI platform is called Sensei, and from the other than that, the most of the time the media management workflow starts when there is a video ready kind of thing, right? So the video is there, and that is what it is coming to the management system. So there is a whole set of other applications before the media asset management system handling that script creation and everything. And then definitely the transcript creation is a workflow within the MAM. And we integrate with different solutions there: DeepGram, VoiceBase, the Amazon Transcribe, Microsoft got video indexer, then IBM Watson speech to text, Google speech to text. So we use various tools for those type of workflows.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that sort of cover pretty much the main point. Yeah. And I think we can cover some of the future stuff later on as you present the integration and how like multimodal will change like media asset management workflow. I want to quickly go over maybe the deployment stuff that you cover in the previous slide. So I think you have one slide talking about like on-prem deployment and another slide talking about like cloud deployment, right? And then like the hybrid approach that combine the best of both worlds, right, to meet the needs of various processes and users. Can you maybe just quickly go over that slide one more time? I think the previous one actually. Like, so in what instances that the on-prem deployment will be most appropriate for, and in what instances that the cloud deployment will be most appropriate for?
So this is a pure on-prem deployment, right? So there is still a lot of clients, government clients, and also the who are got confidential material. They keep everything on-prem. So we just go deploy, and then we never going to go in again, and unless if there is a support issues, product issues, we get somebody will be assisting with the remote connection, and we connect and troubleshoot the problems. Then another type of deployment is the hybrid deployment. The hybrid deployment, sometimes it is not feasible to move the high resolution to the cloud. Like suppose if you have a field crew, they go and shoot with the ARRI Alexa or Radar 3D type of camera. Sometimes a single file can become really big, and also there can be feed coming from satellite, the SDA feed coming from the satellite. We have to record it continuously to the storages on-prem, and then at that time itself, we call it as edit while ingest and few other workflows. That all things will happen on-prem. But at the same time, we create a proxy or a proxy stream connected through the CDN, so external users also can work on that one, but that is not on a high resolution media. So that we call it as a offline edit, because the external users start with the proxy file, they do the edit, they do the cut, add some graphics and everything, and then final conform is happening on-prem from the high-speed storage and high-speed editing workstations. And then there is cloud workflow there too. The finished file, most of the cases, has to leave the on-prem and go to the client sites, and that type of media will also go to the cloud. And then some cases, the archive will go to the on-prem LTO library, and some cases the archive can go from this expensive on-prem storage to the cloud storage like Backblaze B2 or Glacier or Wasabi or that type of storages. So at that time, we have enough time to move the file from on-prem to the cloud for archival purpose.
Yeah, thanks for walking over the details here. Yeah, and I'm just like super interested in this in this stuff, because I think at 12 Labs, you're also pushing a bit more on the on-prem deployment option for our customers as well. So I think having a good overview about some of the key challenges and the like priorities from the security of data and the sector will be very useful for us.
Even with this deployment, we can have a NAT configured at the firewall level, and we can also deploy the web servers in the DMC, dematerialized zone, and then expose the proxy as the HTTPS URL to the 12 Labs environment. And then we issue the index job with 12 Labs with that HTTP URL, which is publicly accessible through the firewall. And then there is a callback also coming to our eMAM gateway in the DMC. It is possible with the on-prem deployment. And another thing, some of these government clients, they may have multiple petabytes data. And that is where we are also working with the 12 Labs business team in case if there is an on-prem deployment requires, can the 12 Labs solution be Dockerized and hosted on-site? We do have some solution with the Caravan. That is another type of generative AI solution. They can deploy everything on-prem with the proper servers and NVIDIA GPUs, so they can run on-prem. So that is also a use case we have to run everything on-prem. For example, we use OpenAI Whisper. Recently, we kind of done a use case with the government client in Venezuela. There is no way we can introduce cloud there in that type of environment. So we simply used OpenAI Whisper on-prem for the transcript workflows.
Yeah, awesome. I think that is super useful, and we continue looking at that.
Then few challenges we have faced with the integration with the 12 Labs. All other type of integrations, right? We have around integration with more than 10 different AI products. But when it goes to AWS recognition or IBM Watson, Google speech-to-text video intelligence, and all those things, we submit a video or audio file for indexing. We get a call back with a JSON payload with all the object detected, all the transcript, and all the details, right? But with the 12 Labs, that is not the case, because we are not getting any JSON payload back to keep it in our database. This is the architecture we came up with because we have to issue searches across 2 different databases, and 12 Labs, the vector embedding database, and also our own SQL Server database with the full text catalogs. And then there were challenges because 12 Labs is not giving the file name when there is a result comes in, so it's very difficult to merge the result. So then we had to take the video ID and put it in our database to combine the results. And then also there is a different type of results coming from the MAM. In eMAM, we keep all the metadata related to the technical metadata and custom metadata, and that is going to the full text search catalogs, and that comes with a different type of ranking, versus the 12 Labs results comes with a confidence score. So these are the things we had to juggle when we were kind of doing the API integrations, so dual database querying, the data synchronization on handling the different type of IDs. Then another one is a very generic one, because the reason I included this slide, because there is a lot of talks, technical people will be there, and in case if you are trying to build something like this one, so this is another one we cannot live without. It's a time code conversion. 12 Labs or most of the platform, if you look at it, because we kind of give an H264 or MP4 file or something, that time code start with absolute time code, and most of the time it's a second or milliseconds in the value. Then we had to translate that into the SMT time code. The SMT time code, then we had to come up with the solution which is frame based, because there are different type of frame rates, 24 frame per second, 25 frame per second. And the main problem, headache, is these type of frame rate, 29.97, 52 point something, 23 point some. Those are the top frame time frame rates. In case you are wondering what it is, top frame, there is no fractional value for video frames, right? It's images, and then 2 frames are cropped every minute. So 29, it will skip to the second frame. And then that frame, the 2 frame will be introduced back every 10th minute. So that is how the 29.97 was a NDSC type of standard with the analog signals. To make the things compatible with that one, still we get files with 29.97. Most of our workflows in broadcasting environment, the frame rate is 29.97. So that is where we had to combine all this clip information and everything with the actual original high resolution media. I think now, okay, let me start a demo. I think it's already 5:10. And so this is our eMAM system. And so there is various ways you can ingest the media into the system. So you just drag and drop a media to the web interface, or then select your profile, where it is going, and then you can put it into specific category. Again, these are the media management workflows, right? So you can put it into different folder structure. You can assign to a project, and you can add the tags. Also, you can do custom metadata tagging. Like if there is a production workflow, we can do that. Metadata can be associated with the clips. And this is a case with the most customers, because they have a specific workflow and they have to tag custom metadata with it. And that is how we onboard the media into the system. Once the media is in the system, so you can play back that one. And within eMAM, we have various tools available, like a review and approval tool, category tool, live dashboard to track everything, handling the delivery, distribution delivery, sharing workflow with the eBin, Essence, like sometimes the video file and audio tracks come separate, so we had to manage those things separately. And the subclips, markers, and all these different workflows are there. But let me focus on the 12 Labs aspect of the integration. We have done, we have this the search option and the advanced search option. The advanced search option, we can search within the title, closed caption, embedded metadata, custom metadata, markers, subclips. And also we have the filter option, so you can search within the technical metadata. And so these are the metadata coming out of the ARRI Alexa camera. And there are metadata coming out of Panasonic camera. So those all things are there in the system, so you can apply the filters to search and find the media. Then another type of the search we introduce is the federated search. So in this case, I have the option for 12 Labs Marengo. So I can have multiple indexes configured too. So then I can have different indexes configured for different workflows, configured in a slightly different ways. And so now I'm just going to search for a vehicle on fire. And so now we got that clip, and this is the result came back from 12 Labs Marengo. And now we are showing it is 83% confidence score. So now if I click on it, and it is actually, by the way, this is me riding the motorcycle. So it detected that one, because when I do riding, right, I may be riding for 6 hours, say 7 hours. It's very extremely difficult to figure out which clip it is, and because if you offload all the camera clips and everything, it will be extremely difficult. I mean, even I got surprised. So when I was trying to search for this clip, and then I indexed everything, so there it is. So, and that will give the confidence score. Okay, now what? I got the clip, but that is where our workflow is starting. And so that is okay. I need to edit this one and make a social media post, or send this to news workflows. So that is where the project workflow starts. So I can create immediately create a project. So I'm going to create a new project, accident on I-95. And then I can associate metadata, put it in S3, it's a remote production, and so on and so on. Suddenly I created a project. I can even go to my subclips and the markers. And again, by the way, I have all these workspaces for different type of workflows. Instead of switching between these things, I just started with the AI, but then I'm connecting to the different workflows. So in this case, I can directly click on here to create a subclip. So now I have a Okay, give me 1 second. So I have this so I have this subclip created just from the result of Twelve Labs, and then okay, maybe this is another other clip I can maybe add that to, or I can search for other things and like maybe I just wanted to okay, let me, now I'm just getting into a little bit complicated territory. Okay, give me 1 second. I can also create a rough cut sequence, create sequence. For that, I need the timeline widget, and also I need the timeline preview. So now I'm doing a rough cut from a web interface based on the result came from Twelve Labs. Okay, so I can create an accident sequence, and then I can drag and drop that clip. Okay, so then if there is another clip, I can drag and drop that too to immediately create a timeline preview for out of that one. So then I can share this preview with others, and also I can drag and drop other full clips too. So let me just search for something else, like maybe tiger play. So if I search for that one, so I got a like a clip that is Tiger Woods playing, and I can play from there and see how it is. And also I got a clip that is the actual is Tiger is playing with the Cubs. It depends on if you're a National Geographic or a sports person. So you can choose the right clip and you can add it to your the markers, and you can build your workflow. You can create the sequence. So that is one use case we have with the federated search. Then another use case we have is this is maybe a education video, the training video. So this education training video, I can create, I can go to Pegasus, and that is where I think that maybe one previous questions were about the prompt engineering, right? Maybe generate a summary of this video for social media post up to 2 sentences, right? I can generate that right away from the UI, then connect the other workflows. And this again, there is a slowness which we are working on. We are working with the Travis and getting into that streaming API, right? And so that's my highlight. So I can, okay, I just need to create a summary. So again, that is also incorporated into the UI. So I can, but our main use case is that other one, like the highlights, and then adding that into the subclips and using it in my project. So any questions related to those two integrations with how we are integrated with the Pegasus, and also how we are integrated with the Marengo for various workflows?
Yeah, for sure. There's a question from Michael in the chat. He asked, can you enter as a search on our problem? So he asked, maybe like back to the Marengo model, can you do something like find all the cars on fire with confidence score up bigger than 80% and create a stringent in data and time model? So basically like a conditional search.
Yeah, basically because that is the prompt text box, right? So you can type anything there. And so what we do is we just issue a search to Twelve Labs Marengo index, and whatever results comes in, we combine that with our database results and show it in the UI. That's how we do, based on the confidence score. Technically, you can type anything there. Give me the clips. Someone talking about media conversion. I don't know whether it's going to return it, but again, the point is, I can issue the search like that one, and yeah, it returns something, and so I think it's not Media Composer, but it's Adobe. But again, what I'm trying to say is, you can issue any prompts there. We give that to the index, and if you find any results, so we kind of show that in the system with the confidence score. Okay.
Sure. Michael, do you mind just unmute and ask like your full question? Because I think you're asking a bit more complex workflow here, right?
Yeah, this is a more complex type of problem. So I understand the search. That's, beautiful. You go find all cars on fire, but you also have the ability in your application to create string outs and everything else. So I was wondering if you could just do one prompt that says find all cars on fire with confidence scores above 87% and create a string out in this particular order and hit enter and it just does it.
I think I didn't. Is that possible or no? So the question is whether it's
I'm asking
possible.
if it's possible or something that you're thinking about doing, because right now I do a search, I get 5 clips back, 2 of them are 80%, confidence score and above.
Okay.
But I want to be able to take those automatically as part of my prompt and say, now create a string out, which you showed us how you do it, but just do that as part of a prompt. And I want them in this order, which is date and time.
Yeah. So that we are not there yet on directly showing the clips here because I understood what you're saying, but we have some complexities on our side on instead of listing based on the asset, right? So if you listing the clips here itself. So what we are planning to come up with is like a clip view here. So something like this one. So then if you do a 12 lab search, it will go to the clip view instead of the asset view. And within the clip view, we are planning to introduce a slider too, because if you wanted to filter it based on the confidence score, if you adjust the slider, then the clips will be from multiple videos, but it will be organized based on the confidence score. So that is something we are trying to build. And then adding that to the sequence to build the sequence and everything, it's a manual process as of today.
Okay.
So then, thank you. So then other one, now I'm inside Adobe Premiere. And so now if this is our the extension panel inside Adobe Premiere. So this is the project which I just created. And now I can directly import that into Adobe Premiere. So that is how we connect the workflows, right? So it's trying to bring the media from the cloud. Okay. Now the difference is in the web UI, I was doing the edit with the proxy video. Now that sequence which I created is directly coming to Premiere, and that is linked to the original high resolution media. And another thing, if I go to my panel here, so now I can select that one, and then I can directly from here, I can do the prompt and communicate with the Pegasus directly from inside Premiere. Okay, so now it is generating that highlights for that ride. And again, there is no audio, right? It is just the motorcycle sound. So then it created a highlight video for me. So from here also, I can directly create the, I can add that into my sequence, or I can add that into my program monitor. So this is the Premiere program monitor. So I can look at that clip directly from here, and I can trim it and all those other Adobe stuff. I can do it from here. So here also I can create chapter marks, highlights, and everything, and then I can directly bring that into my Premiere workflow. So those are the two integrations. Similar way, we also done a dolly prompt here, so you can create an image and bring it into the system. So in that way, we do like fingerprinting and who created the image, when how it is created. In case if there is any future copyright issues or something, we know who created and what prompt it is used, and all those things will be stored in the map system. So this is another integration. And then from here, we have the option to export it, get it back to the map system. And then of course we have various workflows, as I mentioned, like we have the complete production workflow with the projects and the project versions and timeline preview, search filters. We also have the compliance workflows available there. The archive workflow and the deliver workflow is available. So in case if I just need to share that sequence with someone, I can just drag and drop and create a link with the permissions or I can expire that link on a specific day and then share that with others for the review and approval workflow. And again, I'm not going through each and every kind of feature of the eMAM system here, because then it can take forever. But then again, it can go to archive, it can retrieve from the archive. So that's a kind of the high-level workflow. We have 3 minutes left, so we can open that for questions.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, thanks, Anoop, for this extensive demo, and super cool to like take a look at all this like complicated workflow inside your interface, and like how a model capable of enabling the in this case generating chapters from directly inside Premiere Pro, right? Or like in the previous case was like searching for content within like the eMAM interface. So yeah, personally I'm like very excited to see different interface of like how our technology, our model is being consumed, right, from the end users here. For the audience, do you guys have any other like remaining question for Anoop as we close out the webinar?
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Thanks, Brian.
Yeah. Maybe like just curious about like as we working on continue the partnership and looking towards the future. You did mention a little bit about like the streaming, like real time video indexing, right? Can you share a bit more about that and the requirement that you need from our end, so that we can view our product roadmap in a way that most align with your needs?
Yeah, so we looked at the streaming JavaScript SDK, especially here in Premiere, we use a Chromium framework, and some of those are not directly. Again, we have some limitations implementing some of the technology inside the Chromium framework because it's very locked, but definitely that is one thing we are looking at, the streaming the data instead of kind of giving a spinning wheel, just load, do a lazy loading here. That is something we are working on. And then another type of streaming, I kind of mentioned this earlier. Suppose if I have a very large file, we have the option to stream that directly from S3 and certain locations. So in this case, for Premiere, we are not downloading the original media here. So if you look at here, so this is a stream file, and so in the hard drive it is just a few kilobytes. Yeah, again, this technology can stream the frames directly from S3 and load it into Premiere.
This is great. Yeah, thanks a lot, Anoop, for this extensive walkthrough of eMAM, the product, as well as the really comprehensive demo of the workflow. I'm super excited to continue our partnership, and look forward to some of the future integration. Like as we release new API, we'd love to have eMAM team to adopt them and potentially help enable your users to take benefit from our model. And thanks to the audience for attending, asking really good question, and engaging with our speakers. Be sure to post this webinar session online on YouTube within the next about 3 weeks, so people can rewatch it and have any question. Thanks everyone for attending and showing love for our speakers, and hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Cheers, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks, James. Thanks for giving us this opportunity. And the audience, if there is any feedback, like a new feature ideas or something, please share. And so we are happy to talk to you and build those together. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thanks. Bye.